Hi everyone, Becky here. I'm going to talk to you today about how to build a successful Nature Sunshine business. So we're going to cover two elements. First of all, how to recruit and how to be a good mentor. I've already done a video recording on goal setting, and before you watch this one I recommend that you go through the process of goal setting and just become really clear about what you want from your Nature Sunshine business, because building a Nature Sunshine business it's a very simple business, but it's not necessarily an easy business because it requires a huge amount of personal growth, I believe, to be successful in Nature Sunshine. Luckily, Nature Sunshine provide all the tools and all the support to really allow that growth. But you have to be prepared that it does take effort, it requires commitment, and that like any other business, you will have your bad days with Nature Sunshine. Recruiting is the absolute lifeblood of your business. You can't build a big Nature Sunshine business without recruiting, and if you're not actively recruiting then your team won't be as well. So again, and I've said this in other talks, it's all about leading by example. It really is a numbers game. The more people we introduce to the business and the products, the more that our business will grow. So the first thing I recommend that you do is actually make a list of everybody that you know and speak to your upline about doing what we call a frogs list, which is a great memory jogger, and I would actually make a commitment to sit down and write down 100 names. This is something I did with Terry Rigby, one of my mentors, and she challenged me to make a list of 100 names, and me being cocky as I am said that I'd go and do 120 names, and it took me about 3.5 hours to write this list, and I know a lot of people, but it was a really valuable exercise, and I have actually had business from it in quite unexpected ways. So the frogs list is basically that we write a list of everybody we know that we can think of, and then for each person we write down who their friends are, who their relatives are, any organisations that they might belong to or clubs, geography, so anybody else that lives in their area. So I've got a friend who lives in Nottingham. I think, okay, who else do I know that lives in Nottingham? And the frogs list is a great way of creating an extended list, because it isn't necessarily who you know, it's who your contacts know. So make your list and make a mark down to next to everybody's name. Put an L for lifestyle analysis. Could you do a lifestyle analysis on that person? B for the business opportunity. Could you speak to them about the business opportunity? Or C, do you think they could be a good customer? And think of ways that you can contact different people on your list about Nature Sunshine in a way that you feel is appropriate, and speak to your upline. Ask your upline to come with you, and remember there's different people in your upline. I've worked with different people in my upline depending on who I'm actually going to go and visit, but it's really important to get that list down, and as you're going through the business, keep updating that list, keep adding to it. You know, this is almost like your business plan really. So it's creating a really good contact list and acting on that list as well. So how do we recruit? I think the first key is listening. Whether we're trying to sell or promote anything to anybody, it's all about listening and finding out about what that person wants. So as I talked about, I mentioned in another video about wants and needs, and often when we're really excited about something, we might come away from our first Nature Sunshine meeting and think this is going to be fantastic, everybody's going to want these products, everybody's going to want this business opportunity, and we speak to our family when we get home and we get our first massive hurdle, and lots of us have experienced that. Often family will say, oh, it sounds like a pyramid scheme, or I don't need to supplement, whatever it might be, and people at work can say the same. So it's perfectly normal to be knocked back initially, but often that happens when we're focusing on what we believe that people want and not actually taking the time to listen to what it is that they might be looking for. So I think that's the first number one thing. The key really is to listening. If I've managed to get an appointment with somebody, I will always start by saying, well, what made you decide to agree to meet me, and really find out what it is that they're looking for. I will also try and match the business to their particular industry or their world, and ask for advice about this in Nature Sunshine. My background is personal training, so it's quite natural for me to approach personal trainers about the Nature Sunshine business, because it's an industry that I knew quite a lot about. so I could really make the business fit to their world. So it's all about making it fit to the person that you're seeing. And when it comes to recruiting, Nature Sunshine have got some really great tools. Please make use of the business opportunity presentation. We've got that in a paper form, or you can do it on your laptop. I actually prefer the paper version because depending on who I'm speaking to, I don't know that they have necessarily got a laptop. So if people think, well, I've got to have a laptop to do this business, it might put them off, and actually they haven't. So it's a fantastic presentation that you can take people through, explains about the business opportunity, explains about the products, and your first few appointments do take somebody from your upline with you. Nobody expects you to do this business on your own. So it's really, really important that you get that help and support from people there who really want to help and support you and want to see you to be successful. So the next point I'm moving on to is mentoring, how to be a good mentor. So once you've recruited that person, once you've signed them up, how do we support people? The first thing to say is it's completely normal in our business for people to sign up, to promise the earth and do absolutely nothing. This happens a lot. It doesn't matter how good you are at recruitment, it doesn't matter how good you are at mentoring, supporting these people. I have quite a substantial downline now, but at the end of the month there's still lots of noughts there where people haven't done a thing. So that is completely normal, and please don't take it personally. If it's happening to you a lot, it might be a good idea to look at your approach and to look at how much you're supporting people, because people do need support in this business. I was a self-starter. I do have people in my team who are self-starters, but even then I still needed that support and wanted to feel part of a team. One of the big appeals for Nature Sunshine for me was actually that team environment. I've been self-employed for 10 years and it can actually be quite lonely. So I think the first thing is to really involve people in the community of Nature Sunshine. People like to feel involved in something, they like to feel that they're part of something that's bigger than them. We've got a great Facebook community called Nature Sunshine with John. One of the first things I do is add people, if they're on Facebook, to that group. It's a fantastic forum where people can post questions and share ideas. So that's the first thing, to really get people involved. The second thing is to make some commitments in the diary about meetings that person's going to attend. And make some appointments with them to go and see people on their list, and do this straight away while people are still excited about it and they're still keen and they're still hungry. So, once somebody has signed up, get some things in the diary. So make an appointment to sit down with them, create a list, create a plan, and make appointments with them to go and see some of the people on that list, while they're still keen, and get them to a group meeting as soon as you can as well. It's really important to get them started in a positive way, because there will be people out there that will try and put them off. So it's important that we really get people moving as soon as possible, and become really aware of what somebody's goal is when you recruit them. Maybe show them the goal setting presentation that's available on the website. If you're aware of what their goals are, you can really help them to achieve it. So it's really important that you become involved in that person's business and you really help them, because this business really is about helping people. It's naive to think that you can just recruit somebody and sit back and they're going to go off and build a great business and that you reap rewards. It simply doesn't work that way. We are rewarded for our effort in Nature Sunshine. We're rewarded for the effort and the support that we give our team. This is why we paid a mentoring bonus. We are there to act as mentors for our team. The other thing I would say is that Nature Sunshine are now bringing out a phenomenal online training tool that anybody can access, because people can't always get to meetings. Sometimes it's difficult for people to be as involved as they'd like to be, but get them involved online with all the online training that's available about the products and the business, so they really are receiving all the information and everything that they can to really help them to build a successful business. And be on hand if your team have any questions, so make sure that you're really informed as well. Make sure you're informed of any updates, any offers, and make sure that you have a real understanding of how the business works. It still amazes me sometimes in Nature Sunshine, some of the people that have been in the business for a long time, some of the leaders, often aren't clear about how the commission plan works, and often don't attend meetings. I can never understand in this business, if you're serious about it, why you wouldn't lead by example and attend meetings. And the secret to success in a Nature Sunshine business is being a leader from day one. So really leading by example, even if you've only got one person in your team, really be a leader and really make things happen. Thank you. Thank you.